Hey, this is Curious coming at you. What was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, climate change. Excuse me, I got allergies like you would not believe. It just got me totally messed up. Okay, let's talk about climate change. I don't know. I should just talk about things without my little pet theory. You know, the Arcadia Initiative, or yeah, the Arcadia Initiative, my techno agrarian pipe dream and stuff. But really, as a futurist, that's how I see issues progressing. It's kind of like the Venus project, except it's not a big superstructure. It's that design. It's like it's like this. You know the dartboard theory. Well, and then on the city, see where the little red thing is, the bullseye. Well, on the cityscape, that's what it looks like that. See, I was thinking about that, and the more I think about that, the more clearer it is. You know, with that being with the bullseye on this side being the city capital. Like if that one was that big, you know, the one here is like as big as this little thing. It's just magnified up. The point of bringing up that model is because quickly rehash the Arcadia Initiative is to use thermal depolymerization by changing world energies to use alternative energies such as um, thermal depolymerization, which is a bio waste, to use it to make society, or at least a city, every city, a more population homogeneous zone and an energy rich infrastructure. Now, how that would be done is using passive energy like solar and wind, and then things that could be renewables. Oddly, with biowaste, which can also include any carbon stream that goes down to, I think, methane and stuff. So anything that's a biocarbon, pretty much, can be used as a fuel source. Now that means you could use things like plastics, most buried landfills. Matter of fact, they're very rich in carbons, oil, all this, and you could take the pollutants out of it. So when it goes back into the atmosphere, it might cause more greenhouse gases, but it won't cause more. It won't inhibit the plants, besides the heat, because it won't have the pollution. It won't have the um, uh, pollutants in it, like the sulfurs and heavy metals and other things like that, that keep the earth from renewing itself, which is all the grasses and other things that keep the biosphere from reabsorbing all this carbon dioxide and keeping the planet out of balance. See, because it's really pollution that's the problem, not greenhouse. Well, I see. Now I'm going to talk like I know what the hell I'm talking about, but on some of this science, although I've read a lot of it, I'm really a science enthusiast, but not quite really too science literate. So I'm just going to talk like that last statement was actually fact, but keep in mind, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, except for the fact that I've read a bunch of things that kind of know what I'm talking of without really being sure exactly what I know for fact, you know, but I'm just going to talk like I know for fact. So I'm just stressing that right now. You know, I'm going to be blowing hot air about friggin' climate denial and climate change and what I think of it, because my views are always centered on someone who's stuck on their pet projects, like everybody who's friggin' stuck on the Venus project would be, except my idea is like an urban version of it with friggin' piecemeal and component parts, because I think it's a failure to friggin' make a big friggin' Superdome or something and have it friggin' break down and become friggin' worthless, you know? And that's the problem with the Venus project, is it's a big infrastructure block because it deals with friggin' a space and energy saving building, but you put all that energy into it, and entropy and other things just tear up the infrastructure, and then pretty soon you're left with a big, huge, freaking problem of an aged and dilapidated and broken freaking superstructure that's not going to be easily dismantled. It's going to be a lot more energy to take out of it, so it's then, I mean, put in, yeah. It's going to take a lot more energy to dismantle it than it is to freaking, than it was to put into it, which would have been energy intensive anyway. So it's certainly not net positive, and that's the problem with the Bees Project and new urbanism. Although I am a supporter of new urbanism, the mixed economy infrastructures that you want to build for residences sound very good, but the problem is that they are mixed, and that's good, but they take a lot of planning, and when one business or something fails, you can't walk to that business anymore. A lot of new urbanism is about building, like you said, mixed structures, but that relies a lot on a lot of civic utilization and stuff, like building a certain shopping center and things, and a lot of beautification. And beautification's fine, but when it doesn't apply into practicality, like it's like trying to friggin' paint a friggin' ugly store. You know, yes, you will draw more customers, but there's only so many rich people that could supplement, and you really won't get around the human nature of stuff, you know, of things. Although it's always nice to plant friggin' flowers in Compton, it won't stop the friggin' gunfire, you know, and yet sometimes it does, you know, once you clean up things and everything. There's a good part of it and a bad part of it. The bad part of it is it's a business, the main businesses, the huge businesses, and it's kind of like a problem with junk markets and industrialization, because it's like the big box mart theory, you know, or the Walmart problem. You know, you build something better and better and better, and it just wipes out every little mom and pop store that weren't so good, but yet, you know, just frigging, you know, destroys them all. Because all those little mom and pop stores, although they weren't so good because they were feeding the local establishments that were putting money back into the community, although they were taking more out. You know, those little stores you go into and you feel like you're trapped when you walk in because you can't look around. There's some frigging clerk or somebody you know who's hanging on for his job, and the bells hasn't rung in 2 hours, and it goes ding, 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 and you walk in and stuff, and you're like, you know, and everything's friggin' 25% friggin' too much. Even though it's really nice and you'd like to buy something, you know you can get 3 shirts for the price of one somewhere else. You know, I walked in one of them fat stores one time, and it was like that, and I was like, damn, I just cannot afford this stuff, you know, and it was all like designed like to be cool and hip, you know, and there was no one in there, right? And I just bought some belts and left. You know, the cheapest thing I could find, you know, for fat solidarity, but that was it, man. Woo! You know, I sold out and went to Walmart and bought me a friggin', you know, shirt. Till they stopped going up to 3X, you know, then I had to go to Burns Coat Factory. And that's the problem with frigging climate change, is you are a consumer, you know, and you go out and you buy all this crap, and it's like, well, yeah, you're going to go to Walmart, and then friggin' all your money goes to China and stuff, and that's what the problem is with friggin' global warming, is all the friggin' boats going back and forth, with friggin', because it's cheaper than going up and down to Mexico and back and forth. And, you know, you're just friggin' enabling a friggin' other country with your oil. You know that you're fighting wars with, do that. I got no problem with fighting terrorists and everything, but the friggin', you know, well, that's a problem right there, because you got the oil that friggin' they'll sell to somebody else that they'll just friggin' won't bother with your initiatives with. They'll just friggin' go up and friggin' build something else. So even though you don't want to do that and you want to get all the oil, if you're a George W. Bush supporter like I am, you know, and stay the damn fucking course, you know, because he flew goddamn biplanes trying to teach people to drive planes, You know, after he's friggin' standing on a friggin' bar stool, dancing all night and shit, friggin' with his pants down, mooching cigarettes. I just love to see that on the YouTube video. My hero, George. Yeah, can we get him back in office now? I mean, if he could do it, fucking anybody can. I'm Yahoo on that. Man, I want to be president too, man. Anyway, the thing is that climate change and that fucking Al Gore. You knew I was going to talk about Al Gore, so I might as well talk about Al Gore. Bullshit, blowhard motherfucker. You know, bullshit. He's fucking lying out his fucking ass. Him and Jim Carrey. Fuck them. You know, bunch of lying motherfuckers anyway. I mean, shit. You know, that's what I don't want to sign up on that politics for. I want the science. I want the real thing. I'm an atheist. I want the friggin' reality. I don't need the friggin' church story, you know. I could buy friggin', you know, the Venus Initiative if it wasn't goddamn fucking communism, and I don't support communism. So what the fucking hell, man, you know? I mean, shit, I don't want a fucking commie state or a fucking... I can't believe I actually voted green last election and shit. Fuck. You know, and then fucking I voted for Barack and goddamn Hillary shows up. Fucking Comrade Hillary and shit. Oh, man, SOPA and everything else. Oh, my fucking God. What happened to change? You know, you Bill Ayers hanging out motherfucker, you know, fuck you. And then shit, you know, and then we're freaking, well, you want change, let's change, and all the jib jab goodness of that. But no! You know, you want the freaking, okay, fine. I want the new urbanization. You know, I want the freaking Venus Project, but I don't want the bullshit about it. I don't want the freaking cultural Marxist friggin' new school of friggin' thought, Cambridge College and all that shit, or Columbia College, and the friggin' social neo-Marxist bullshit. You know, I mean, sure, you know, you want the friggin' things that work, you know, and I'm not gonna go friggin' bootjacking down the fucking street being a goddamn Nazi because I'm a friggin' protectionist and a friggin' isolationist. You know, it isn't like I hate all my friggin' friends south of the border. I just like to see Mexico overthrown. So friggin' it's besides the poor part, it's the fifth fucking goddamn fucking richest country in the world and shit. They treat each other like shit, you know? Why the hell don't we invade Mexico? It'd have been better in Iraq, although I think Iraq, there really was WMDs and shit, or he had an isometric bomb that friggin' would have launched at Israel, and fucking Israel's just chomping at the bit to blow somebody out of the hell anyway, because they're all friggin' goddamn friggin' crazy Jew, friggin' goddamn friggin' Bundy fundamentalist friggin' not Christians, but Zionists, you know, or excuse me, Judaist, you know, same fucking thing as Islam and fucking goddamn Christians, you know, except for the friggin' moderate ones. So I don't know if there's any moderate ones. They're always liberal or fucking goddamn friggin' crazy friggin', you know, end times post-natalist or prenatalist goddamn people and shit. And then, yeah, I want a little prenatalism. That's why I support America and stuff, you know. And that was the great idea, the great immigration and stuff. Except for the fucking, no one told the fucking Indians that we stole the goddamn idea from, you know. How that worked out to be prenatalism and something the Indians developed, I don't quite know, but it seems to be true since the Cherokee fucking developed it. And I hate that fucking Cherokee Nation song, fucking goddamn Indians. And I mean, you know, but no, you know, I mean, you know, why don't they blame the blacks? You know, the blacks didn't fall down and die like the Indians that were going to be friggin', you know, or the Chinese and stuff, you know, because you know. We wouldn't have been able to do it. A bunch of fat Southerners sitting there going, you know, I'll eat my chicken and watch the friggin', you know, Chinese. I better shut up. I'm gonna get in trouble. But you know what I'm saying, you know? I mean, the blacks friggin', you know, pick the corn and the friggin' cotton and the goddamn tobacco, and the friggin' Chinese wash the clothes. The fat Southerners sitting there friggin', you know. Turns out the goddamn Jews are friggin' bigger in the goddamn fucking South than they were in the East, you know, watching the goddamn PBS and shit, America's friggin' socialist station, and everything, and it's like, okay, fine, I can handle this as an atheist, you know, bring it on, I don't care about these genes, shit, you might be surprised how many friggin' women of color I've tried to be with and failed to be with, so what the fuck, you know, I'm just a goddamn horny Scotsman, you know, we'll go after anything, it's true, you know, Fucking A. Anyway, so back to climate change. So, why the hell can't we use the goddamn frigging coal if we can make it clean? That way we can turn it into plastic and we can use it to friggin' build hot houses, cheap hot houses, that we can have food all friggin' season long of different things to keep stuff on the shelves. And what's not good, we could either friggin' turn it back into friggin' bio waste to friggin' do that, or friggin' have friggin' fat and jolly people until they die at 45, like I'm probably gonna, and then friggin' go ahead and friggin' throw them in the friggin' vat and recycle them and stuff to make them plastic waste. Just put their goddamn picture on the thing, and make it a friggin' make it a felony for anybody who friggin' goes to jail and stuff, but friggin' only, no more friggin' death penalties, but only if they can survive on their own means without, you could give them insulin and stuff like that and heart medication, but if they're gonna die, no organ transplants, then they gotta go into the grinder and friggin', go do that. And there's some of America's friggin' out there, instead of friggin' sending our troops and shit to go in there, we just send a missile and stuff, and then the friggin' Johnny Five and Robocop and everyone else fucking pops out of the goddamn missile, parachutes down, sets up a little camp, and starts dragging people back and throwing them in the goddamn mixer. To friggin' fuel the war effort. You know what I mean? Hell yeah. America, America, it's a Robocop kind of thing. Sorry. Anyway, when, we wouldn't have to freaking ship anyone everywhere if we just freaking attacked Canada and Mexico. I mean, that would be the first big. I don't know about Canada. Where the hell we're going to get our poor and cheap freaking TV? And anyway, why the hell doesn't Mexico do that for us? What the hey? Anyway, you think they could learn English since freaking we have to learn every freaking Spanish? We don't get freaking EOP. Anyway, yeah. So basically, you take the friggin' oil, you friggin' take the goddamn friggin' body parts that friggin', that stay in better hotels you could stay in when you were alive, while the friggin' snotty friggin' liberals, elitist friggin' preppies are sitting there going, oh, look, Billy, there's another native. I think he's kind of brown. Oh, but we're upper class brown people now too, and we can stay in this hotel and have luncheons, Don't hit on me in the elevator. We have to wait to get up to the stairs, And then friggin', they're sitting there and no one has friggin' cadaver rights. It's completely ridiculous what they do with people. You think you have rights. Unless you can afford a big funeral plan and everything, you have no rights. None. You are at the whim of what anyone wants to do to you. So I say, why not just harvest the organs and friggin' do everything else? That way you can have better lives because you'll have a stronger infrastructure and everything won't have to be made out of corn, i.e., high fructose corn syrup that makes everybody fat and die anyway. High fructose corn syrup. Corn, ethanol. No, it's crap. You make it out of frigging regular gas or oil, or actually you do it with generators. See, you have them outside the thing. Everywhere is a zone. And then this is the suburban part, this is the urban part, and this is the friggin' rural part where everything grows, and then here's the generators. The hospitals are here, and this is a distribution circle, see? And then that way you go from here, and all the trash and everything comes out, and all the ag waste goes in, and then all the food goes in, and all the sewage comes back out. And then bloop, bloop, tide comes in, poop comes out, poop, poop, poop. And then that's what you do, and then the friggin', and then you got the generators. This is about the size of a friggin' county, about 5-10 miles wide. I don't know, what are counties wide? I think they vary, but, if you got some hydroelectrics or geothermal or everything, and then you put your solar on the outside or you put it on everyone's goddamn roof somewhere so it won't friggin' be a problem, you know, and then boom, you know, and then from that, you friggin' drive electric cars inside the grid, and friggin' and everyone else could use trains, or, you know, or friggin' semi trains or some weird shit like that. You know what I mean? Or something, you know? Monorails, I guess, that you could friggin' drive off the thing and drive around. You know, some crazy shit like that. Or blimps or something. You know, and then friggin' you wouldn't need to friggin' supplement friggin' vehicles, because you'd have the vehicles going over to friggin' some kind of friggin' zeppelin friggin' ship that could fly over. Well, maybe you wouldn't want that. I don't know. You know, I don't really want friggin' an oil tanker full of friggin' shit that's going over the next county to friggin', you know, have a friggin' zeppelin pool flying over my house. So, you know, that's a problem. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know, that's kind of the problem with the arcade industry there. You know, you don't want to get too friggin' high on the friggin' thing. You know, friggin' have a forced landing or something, you fly into your friggin' 52 and 100 odd friggin' space needles because you're friggin' everything's got to be googie and stuff, architecture. You know, there might be some problems there. I admit that, you know. So, my little friggin' dystopia utopia's got some friggin' plans, you know. Anyway, so basically that's what you do. You friggin' build googie, you use friggin' thermal depolymerization, and you make it friggin' everything like a dartboard. And then friggin' every friggin' glen and nook has its own friggin' power source, and you trade carbon between them locally. And then you just keep trading on that kind of scale. And you friggin' do not have a unified electrical grid, but you can trade maybe hydrogen or something, or gasoline, you know, or, you know, something, because you're always going to be making gas anyway, you know, and you want that on the outskirts, you know, so that's how that could work. You could trade that way, you know, and then that would be safe, you know, ish, something, you know, and it would also be a lot cleaner because you would be keeping pollutants from going into the sky, and you wouldn't need to bury carbon either, because the carbon would be recycled into the plastics and stuff. Maybe you could just trade plastics, you know, or garbage. Be a garbage economy, you know, that would be just great, you know, and then that's how it would work. Yeah. Any ideas, thoughts? Suggestions for alternative medications? I don't know. I know. I just lost my mind. But yeah, that's the kind of shit I think about. Building skyships and invading Mexico. Yeah! Bye-bye. Hi, Gimo.